The first snow of the season has fallen across our viewing area. More on that. Plus, Huntingburg's Denny Spinner is this week's guest on Monday with the Mayor, and Mike Steffi talks about what's happening at the Tri-County YMCA tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Well, it's only mid-November, but we've already had our first encounter with Old Man Winter more than a month before winter officially begins. A somewhat light mist of precipitation began to fall across the viewing area late Sunday afternoon and continued into the early evening hours before changing over to all snow last night. Needless to say, the wintry precipitation wreaked havoc on today's early commute as area law enforcement worked many accidents and slide-offs across the area. As many as 15 slide-offs were reported to Du Bois County Sheriff's deputies throughout this morning. The snow also caused issues for schools in our area. After initially issuing 2-hour delays, officials with the Greater Jasper School Corporation, along with Southeast, Southwest, and Northeast Du Bois, all decided to cancel classes just before 8 o'clock this morning due to the weather. Pike County, North Spencer, Perry Central, and Crawford County schools all shut down for the day as well. Now, much colder air has moved into the area in the wake of the snowstorm as temperatures spent most of today in the mid-20s. They're set to drop into the lower teens and even the single digits as we head through this evening. Winds out of the west between 10 and 15 miles per hour will result in wind chill values as low as -1. We'll have more on the cold and the rest of your work week coming up later on in your local forecast. A pair of Jasper men were taken into custody over the weekend following separate battery incidents. At 3:25 yesterday afternoon, Jasper police were called to the Du Bois apartments on the first reported battery incident. When they arrived, police found 21-year-old Jacob Corder and a pregnant teenage girl outside of apartment 10. According to Jasper police, Corder pushed the girl to the ground during the course of the altercation. Officers also found drug paraphernalia on his person. Corder was lodged in the Du Bois County Security Center. He is facing criminal mischief, possession of paraphernalia, and domestic battery charges. Then at 11 o'clock last night, JPD got a complaint about an altercation that had just happened in the 3300 block of Newton Street. Police also learned that the suspect, 21-year-old John Kempf, had left on foot. Once they arrived on scene, police located and detained Kempf. After further investigation, police say this altercation stemmed from a relationship that ended over the weekend. Kempf and the daughter of the complainant broke up earlier in the weekend, and police say Kempf was asked not to return. When Kempf did return, seeking to rekindle the relationship, another man was at the residence, and those two fought. Kempf was taken into custody and booked into the Du Bois County Security Center. He is charged with battery causing bodily injury and disorderly conduct. The complainant complained of back and neck pain as a result of the struggle. The former president and chief executive officer of Kimball International says promotion could be key to keeping Du Bois and surrounding counties moving in the right direction. During his Friday speech at the Jasper Chamber Luncheon, James Tinn touched on several topics related to moving the community forward. Tinn specifically discussed the theme of seizing the day. He says there are opportunities that the area needs to take advantage of in order to grow.
Well, we live at a good time, and we've got such a wealth of young people and good people here in the community, in the region, not just Jasper, Huntingburg, Ferdinand, the county, the surrounding counties. And we need to believe in ourselves and embrace change. Go for it.
As for the ongoing concern about attracting people to fill jobs in Du Bois County, Tinn went back to the theme of promotion. He says people outside of our area need to hear more about the county and what we have to offer.
It's time that we make what we have here known to a wider audience, because I believe people, particularly when they're starting families and want to raise their children, have good education, good health care, good arts, good recreation, as well as a good job, I think we're very attractive, but we're unknown.
Tinn also spoke on other issues such as high-speed internet that may keep people from coming to the area to live. Now, Tinn retired from Kimball earlier this year. He had worked for the company since 1966. Now, Kimball had 2 other speakers in addition to 10. New Kimball International CEO Bob Schneider and Kimball Electronics Chairman of the Board and CEO Don Sharon also spoke about the future of their respective companies. Friday's luncheon featured the presentation of the President's Community Excellence Award. That award went to Memorial Hospital Foundation Executive Director Mike Jones. Jasper's Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center has once again been given national recognition. The hospital was recently honored as a top performer on key quality measures. The honor was bestowed by the Joint Commission, which is a national leader in accrediting healthcare organizations. The main areas of recognition for Memorial were for accountability measure performance in heart attack, heart failure, pneumonia, and surgical care. Memorial joins more than 1,200 hospitals across the country to be honored as top performers. Now, there are several criteria to be a top performer. These include achieving a cumulative performance of 95% and higher in all reported accountability measures, getting 95% or higher on each measure that had at least 30 denominator cases, and getting at least one core measure set with a composite rate of 95% or above. Each individual accountability measure within a composite category also has to be at 95% or above. Finally this evening, the parents of an American aid worker slain by Islamic State militants say they are heartbroken by his death, but incredibly proud of his humanitarian work. Ed and Paula Kossig of Indianapolis said Sunday in a statement that 26-year-old Peter Kossig lost his life as a result of his love for the Syrian people and his desire to ease their suffering. Kossig was captured last year while delivering relief supplies to refugees of Syria's civil war. The Indianapolis man converted to Islam while in captivity and took the first name Abdul Rahman. The Kossigs say they are incredibly proud of their son for living his life according to his humanitarian calling. Now, the White House confirmed Kossig's death Sunday after Islamic State militants released a video showing Kossig had been beheaded. Meanwhile, state and federal lawmakers also reacted to Kossig's death. Republican Indiana Senator Dan Coates says he's appalled by the killing. Coates called Kossig's death a tragic murder and said his life was cut short by savage barbarians who terrorized the innocent. Coates says Kossig heroically served his country in uniform, and we celebrate this Hoosier's life of sacrifice and benevolent service to others. Now, Democrat Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly says he and his family are heartbroken for Kossig's parents. Donnelly says he can think of no greater tragedy than losing a child. He says Kossig will be remembered as someone who made extraordinary sacrifices to assist others in need. Donnelly urged Indiana residents to continue to pray for Ed and Paula Kossig as they mourn the loss of their son. And Governor Mike Pence also condemned the murder of Kossig. Pence ordered all flags on state buildings be lowered to half staff beginning this morning in his honor. All right, coming up after the break, Denny Spinner is back for Monday with the Mayor, plus your local forecast and Inform with Mike Steffi. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.